It's not a busy day, but it's a busy day. I'm about to head out to my morning workout. When I get back, I'm going to essentially freshen up. I have to do some last minute self-tapes because everything's been crazy, long story short. And once I finish all that, I'm gonna finish the movie Cherry Falls. And then I downloaded Suspiria, the remake. I've seen the original. I think I watched it last year or the year before. So I might start it because it's like 2 hours and 45 minutes or something like that. I might start it and then I could always watch it at the airport while I'm waiting for my flight or on the flight because I downloaded it from Prime. So the biggest goal is, even if I don't submit all my self-tapes, I want them recorded. I'm trying to get like 3 good takes to send to my friend. So in a perfect world, the self-tapes would have been done, and then after yoga, I would have just been like freshening up. But since my trip is gonna last me, and the very last day these are due is the day I get back, I don't want to push this off and then not have the time that day and then miss out on auditioning for this, because even though it's not like a blockbuster or something, it's still like practice, and it's still, as I always say, every chance to audition is a chance to perform. Every chance to perform is a chance to audition. So yeah, I think I did all my morning routine. I might double check, especially the stuff that keeps streaks. And then I'm gonna grab my bag, head to yoga, and then come home and essentially, like I said, get ready, do the self-tapes, get ready for the airport, and then probably head out to the airport like 3:30 to give myself time for traffic, give myself time for whatever the airport has going on, because my flight is at, I think, 8:30, but we board 7:45, and I just like to give myself as much time as possible. I do think when I head out for yoga, though, I am going to take half of my recycle, and then when I head out, what is that? When I head out to actually go to the airport, I'll take out the rest of my trash. But that way, because I have a lot of recycle stuff this time, that way it's like all gone. But it's a lot, so I don't want to do like 3 trips to the trash before I go. I kind of just want to load up my car and go. So it might just make it easier to just knock out half of it now and then half of it later. We are basically packed. I am going to bring my actual flat iron and maybe a comb with me. I do need to get a brush, low key. So I will do that. But outside of that, we're pretty much packed. And I'm gonna also bring my iPad, but I'm still watching my movie on there, so I'm obviously not gonna forget it. I love acting, but sometimes I don't want to be bothered with self-tapes. And I'm gonna be honest with you all. I've always said, oh, if I'm in a position where even if I'm famous, I'm gonna audition for every job I get, I'm not gonna hold y'all. If I get a partner who's already established as a producer or an actor or a director, I may ask for a job or 2, just because sometimes I feel like if I didn't have a 9 to 5, it wouldn't be that bad. But the last 2 months have been wild, and I literally told myself, do not push this off until before your trip. And then I did. Since I'm gonna have to wash my hair, and I'm gonna take you all through that, like my lazy sew-in maintenance for when I don't want to do the full thing, I was like, let me just curl my hair now. And for one of the characters, it says she likes her hair in updos, so I'm just gonna do some quick curls in this style, so something really simple. And then the other character, I'm thinking about having it where my hair is braided. Like, I'm gonna keep these 2 front pieces out, but then the hair is braided down the side, and I'm thinking about putting a hairpiece in. And then I can do like my lazy girl sew-in maintenance, because since I'm going to Florida, it just feels like washing my entire braids and everything. I can just do that when I get back. But I will take you all through my lazy maintenance. I think that looks cute. I think that looks cute. Like, here's the before, here's the after. And I'm gonna finish this, and then we're gonna do our makeup together, and then I'm going to do the self-tapes, send some to my friend who I joke is like also my manager sometimes, because she's the one who's always like, you are a good actor, you deserve to be an actor, keep going. So sometimes I get like a second opinion from her because she went to film school, she knows what directors are looking for, she just has like a better eye. And I like having someone review my work, because right now I don't, should I shave my eyebrow again? I can't tell if that's a shadow from my hair or if that's my eyebrow. But she just kind of knows what people are looking for, and it just feels good right now. I'm trying to get to a point where I build my confidence up to believe that like I'm a good performer. We're slowly getting there, but there's still a part of me who wants essentially a peer review. So while I do my makeup and stuff, I am gonna try to watch Suspiria in the background just to get it started, I think. Actually, no, I'm gonna film with you all, because the point of this video is pre-trip and then days during my trip that I'm not already separately filming, since you all voted that you want more vlogs. We're gonna be doing like a Friday only vlog, which is tomorrow, Saturday only for Epic Universe, Sunday either all together Halloween Horror Nights and Universal Islands of Adventure, or depending on how much footage I get, 2 separate videos. And then when I potentially go on a road trip with my mom, a video for that. So the other like 3 days in the mix, those will be a part of this video. And then when I get back, depending on what my situation looks like, either we'll continue filming that day or end the video before the trip ends. We'll see. So, all right, I'm gonna finish the other side of my hair, grab my makeup, and then we'll just keep chatting. For makeup, something very simple. I have an idea for lips. One character is more flirtatious. So for her, I'm gonna do a red lip, and I'm gonna do that second because it's like a more staining color. But I'm gonna keep the base the same for both of them. And I need to remember to pack some of my makeup that I wanna take with me. So, as I said in that last video where I kind of showed you all through my usual routine, I'm gonna put a little bit of this lip injector on. And now that I think about it, I don't think I packed any lipstick or anything for my trip. I'm debating, should I bring this or should I bring something else? I'll bring this. I'm also gonna bring my eyebrow pencil. For both of these characters, the descriptions that were given by production made me feel like they both, especially because I just have naturally thinner brows, which, gosh, I wish someone would have told me to stop over coloring them. Like, they looked so good in my senior high school photos because I had them cut really thin. I think I went to a nail shop and had them waxed, and they looked amazing. They were thinner than this. If I remember, I'll put the picture on the screen. And I started trying to make them thicker. If I remember, I'll put a picture of like my college era on the screen too. And it's like, no girl, this is your butter. This is your cream. All right, so from here, I'm thinking really light on the base. Again, I'm gonna be washing this off. It's going on 1 o'clock, I think. And I'm leaving for the airport at 3. So I just need to just get some quick shots of footage and whatnot. I'm just gonna put a little bit of the blush on here too. I don't even think I'm gonna bother with highlight or anything. And I'm just trying to clean as I go and trying to remember what exactly I wanna put in each piece. I definitely want to put some mascara on, some liner. Let's see, in terms of brushes, I'm just gonna use one of these like cheap throwaway brushes. So we're gonna do the blush with this one. And I've been seeing a lot of people say, do your liquid blush first under face products, because you can essentially tone it down, especially this Rare Beauty one that I bought, because it's the color I wanted, but I don't necessarily think it was my color. So as you can see, I look almost like I'm sunburnt. And the powder blush I have in this color looks great with application, but this one, because it's liquid, it's like a little intense. But we're just gonna put that a little bit all over, because what is blush blindness? And then I'm gonna take my foundation brush and the little bit of foundation that I have, I'm going to just go over everything, and that'll help tone down that color, cover up any dark spots, and give me a nice little complexion. There was originally 3 characters I was gonna submit for this production, but one of them, because of the description of the character, ultimately I decided I don't think that it would fit me. The best way to describe it is kind of how Haley, I think her name's Haley Steinfeld, her type of role in Centers, where it's like, the point is she can kind of be anything. That character kind of fell into that description of they wanted someone Caucasian or ethnically ambiguous, and I struggle with that. My last acting teacher I had told me I have a distinct look, so she didn't straight out say like you can only play Black characters, but that's kind of like the vibe I got from her. But it's confusing because in my real life, my social media presence, and just recently on a set I was on, like 3 actors on the set I was just on all thought I was like just Asian, like not even Blasian, not anything. And I pretty much told them, to my knowledge, I don't have any Asian family members. But even on my social media, I've gotten like negative comments about Asian people because they thought I was Asian over the years. Like this isn't just like a recent thing either. Over the years, I've gotten like what I would consider as racially motivated comments towards Asian people because the people that commented that thought I was Asian, which is ridiculous. Like in general, I don't stand for prejudice or anything like that. So I was already over it. But it's just interesting because even in my real life, outside of acting, outside of social media, I have had people who thought I was Asian. So I don't know. I don't know. All right, let's do our eyes. I should have known. My curls are already dropping, so I just turned back on the machine. But basically, I'm here to say, out of all the characters that are in this project, there were 2 that I felt I could potentially be selected for. So let me submit for both, you know? And in doing that, it was my hope that ultimately the other one that I felt I could apply, but my friend said there's too much of a slippery slope there to just ignore that role for casting, that I was like, yeah, you're right. But it's just interesting because, as I said, just last week, I had people who thought I was 100% Asian. In my life, I've had maybe 5 other times where Asian people have asked me if I was Asian. Growing up, when I went to South Florida, would have people speak Spanish to me. I have, since moving to New York, been asked a few times if I'm just Italian. I've been asked if I'm Black, like in the context of a Black person was speaking on their experiences and they didn't want to lump me in. They were like, are you Black? Like that type of, they weren't 100% sure, but they were asking before they like lumped me into the conversation type of situation, speaking on their experiences as a Black person. Even in my like 9-to-5 role now, my coworkers I have, all of them hit me with the stereotypical like, what are you questioning. So it is just kind of this I won't say awkward, like I don't have an issue with these conversations, and I myself identify as a Black person. I've never not. identified as a Black person, but it's really interesting because I feel like I fall into the same category of a Zoe Kravitz, if you will. And I've recently seen social media posts where people say like Zoe shouldn't call herself Black because she has 2 mixed parents. And it's like, well, what do you mean? Like, that's kind of how we're socialized, you know? Hopefully you all enjoyed that little chit chat. It just came to mind because it's relevant to this submission that I said I was going to do. It sounded like a great idea when I wanted to do it, but obviously as production got ready and as they've sent out information, I'm like, oh, I already told them I was interested. I obviously should apply, and I'm losing like a chunk of a week, so I don't want to submit it on the day it's due. I just feel like that's so unprofessional. But now that I have that context and that information, I'm kind of like, yeah, you know, I wouldn't mind like maybe in my lifetime, even if I only had 10 projects between theater, television, movies, if you told me I can only do 10 projects and this is like post fame. So let's say pre-fame, I get like 5. After fame, I get only 10. If I could only have 10, I think maybe 4 of those, I would love to use connections to get them. I would never have my agent say publicly like, oh, my client doesn't audition, she's above that. I'm not above that. I don't think anybody's above that. We're all humans. We all are working in our crafts and our fields. Even the whole discussion I just had about race and ethnicity and ideology, like a lot of that is what I studied in undergraduate. So that's why I wanted to speak on that just a little bit. It's really interesting because like I said, I had an acting teacher who pretty much without saying it said only play Black roles. But the actual sets I've been on, people have thought I'm Asian. Or growing up in my life, people have thought I'm Asian. They've thought I'm biracial with like 2 distinctly racially different parents. There's people, because I was born in South Korea, that thought I was just Korean, and they always assumed my whole life, they were like, oh, we just thought you were Korean. You have pictures of like yourself in traditional Korean wear as a kid. You look Asian, so we just thought you were like a dark-skinned Korean. I actually have mixed friends who are darker than me, so people think they're Black and I'm mixed. Or like I said, since moving to New York, I've had people think I'm Italian. Some people joke that Italians are like spicy white. So it's like, obviously, especially in the winter, I still have some pigment, but I'm really pale. Like this is kind of the fall about to be winter coat, if you will, for me. And I still feel like in my eyes, I'm not that pale. But then other people that know me, they're like, no, Vittoria, you are not as tan as you think you are. So it's just that concept of, it's really interesting to me that I think going forward with productions, if a role says it's for racially unambiguous, I may go for it, because right now I really have only been sticking to Black roles. But in my real life experiences, even though I've had acting teachers essentially without saying it say stick to Black roles, I do think my real world experience has shown me that, in the words of my mom, like, you can be anywhere, you're Mrs. International. So I just find it all very interesting, and we can talk about that another day. I'm always open to it. But that said, we're gonna fix our hair, we're gonna put on the lighter lip color and get that character out of the way, because I think that part of the script had more dialogue for me. My friend recorded the pieces, and I need to remember the stuff I need to say before the lines. So I think that's everything. And then after this, we're going to get unready, and we are going to essentially do our makeshift sew-in washing, and yeah, just like get ready for the airport. It's probably 1 o'clock on the dot. So I want to spend no more than an hour on this, an hour getting ready. And then once, because I'm already packed, I'm good to go and I'm ready to go, I will set up everything for when I get back, you know, take out the trash, set up my recycle, all that stuff, put out some fresh towels. I have a little bit of laundry, but it's not going to kill me because I plan on washing everything before I get back. So I'll just worry about that when I get back. In a perfect world, if I wouldn't have pushed off these self-tapes, I 100% would have done my laundry this morning. But my yoga went long, and then I've just been kind of taking my time. I've low-key been pushing this off because, like I said, in the beginning, this sounded like a fun project, but right now with everything going on, I'm like, it's like another task. It's not as fun as it could be. And that's why I said, hey, I'm human, I'm not above anybody. But if you're telling me I only get 10 projects in my life, I maybe want 3 with directors I'd love to work with, maybe 2 with my best friend who's a director, because if I'm up she's up, and everybody else I know that's like in the arts world that would be perfect for a project, whether it's like music or cinematography or acting, we're all up. So that's like 2 projects. But if you told me maybe either all 5 or like 3 of the 5, my hypothetical partner who's an actor or director or producer is just like, put my girl in there, I'm taking it. Because there's just a little lazy bone in me. It's like, this is my lazy bone. The rest of this is my hardworking bone. My best friend, we just had dinner recently. She's like, you're such a hard worker. You're just not doing the things that you're meant to be doing. Like, you're meant to be in the arts. You're meant to be a creative. And you would go far as a hard worker if you finally got paid for the things you should be getting paid for. But there's like that little part of me that just wants to rot, which is why I need to be famous. I could just take a month off and then we're back for the other 11. Okay, let me throw this away so we can get started on this. With all the yapping I'm doing, this may just be its own video. And then the other days in my life on this trip can be, I'm not even gonna lie, my makeup's not that bad. What if I keep my makeup on for the trip? I might. We'll see how I feel after I shower and everything. Some people say your makeup after a shower is like really dewy and pretty. So, I don't know. I don't think it's in business anymore, but this was Gwen Stefani's line, Give, I think is how you pronounced it. And one thing about me, I can never have too much mauve. This is the color either cowgirl or cowboy. Cowgirl. And so, as you can see, it's like my lips but matte. I think this fits the more timid, feminine character who keeps her hair pinned up, so we're gonna recurl it. And then this Wet n Wild Marilyn Monroe lip gloss, it's like a bright red. I'm not gonna bother with the lipstick or the liner. We're just essentially going to wipe a little bit of this off if it's not fully dry by then. And then we're gonna put this over, and this is gonna be the more like seductive, flirty character. And then instead of my hair being pinned up with the curls, I'm gonna do like a braid going down. And then, like I said, I'm gonna do maybe like a fancy button up for the one more like sophisticated character. And then for this character, I'm thinking about just flipping this over so you don't see the Hollister, and then draping this like lace shawl that I have, because they kind of fit the descriptions they want of the characters. So, all right, we're gonna go do that. I might show some of the clips muted. I don't know. I still have to set up. I'm still trying to pump myself up, but I don't think it's gonna take me a full hour to film the clips. It's just getting myself to film them. And then, like I said, the hour to get ready / do my hair. And then the hour to essentially put everything up and then head out. In a perfect world, again, this would have all been done. So once I got home from yoga, the setup stuff would have been done. And then right now I would just be watching Suspiria, and I probably would have finished it before the airport. But what can I say? What can I say? I'm just having one of those weeks. This is what I'll look like. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. The lines in this are kicking my behind. And this is the harder of the two. And my bracelet, I keep it. I'm falling apart. I'm stressed out, I'm falling apart. It's 1:45 and I'm still trying to get my lines down. We're lucky if I get one good take out of this. I'm gonna try to recite the lines 5 times. Hopefully by then I've got it. I've got my friend's audio. I'm just gonna keep rehearsing with her audio. And then, like I said, the other one should be easier in terms of changing the makeup and all that. So here's to hoping. Okay, this is the look for character 2. It's already 2:30, so the script is kicking my behind. Don't ever do this as an actor, but I'm just showing you the reality of, let's say your agent sends you something today and says it's due, but you've got a flight. We're gonna pretend that that's the case. We're gonna pretend I'm already an A-list actor and my agent was like, you need to send this today. We're making it work. 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 Help! Those self-tapes really kicked my butt. Very quickly, my lazy girl leave out sew-in maintenance is I wash the leave out, and then in this case I'm gonna wash the ends of my hair. I'm just gonna go in with some conditioner on the ends of the hair because we'll do a deep wash when I get back. And on my leave out, I'm gonna do both the conditioner and this sulfur 8, and then rinse it out, blow dry those pieces, and then flat iron them. That is essentially what I do. And then on more intensive maintenance days, I actually just wash my entire head and I get under the braids and everything, and then I sit under a dryer from anywhere, I would say, an hour and a half to 3 hours if I feel like I need that much time. And on my leave out specifically, I also, after blow drying, like to go in with this Color Wow extra strength drain coat before I flat iron. I've actually decided I'm gonna end this video here, and the days of my trip that I'm not doing separate vlogs for will be its own video. So you are so important, you are so loved, you are so blessed, and I will see you in the next one in Florida.